I mean, granted, you have to find the right 1-3 game. The one at Capital Casino happens to be one of those games. I hear games in Texas are pretty juicy also. I definitely think that you can probably make a living playing there. Can you make them enough to live a comfortable lifestyle? I guess that depends on your lifestyle, and also depends on how many hours you want to put into the game. Some of the younger vloggers, man, when I was 20, 30 years old, I used to play all the time. And those guys, yeah, they can put in 10, 12-hour sessions and play 4 or 5 days a week, sometimes more. And I mean, if you put in the hours and you have a consistent win rate, you're going to do very well. I remember Lex talking about his journey on one of his vlogs where he said that he was just grinding all day long, every single day. And he was playing like 1-2, 1-3 stakes. And he just kind of worked his way up within a year or two, and was playing 2-5 and then started working his way up from there. And now he's playing some pretty good sized poker, and he seems to be doing very well. By the way, Lex, I really enjoy your vlogs. They're great. And, you know, same thing with Rampage and Mariano. All those guys, they start off playing small. They put the hours in, they learn the game, and they're all doing quite well. So low stress, easy money, 1-3. A little bit more stress, a little bit better money, 2-5. When you get up to 5-10 and above, you're usually playing with solid players and, you know, an occasional whale.
So let me get this straight. I coach you, I teach you everything you know, you make $55 an hour playing poker, and I get freaking leftovers? Are you kidding me? I want a raise. I want real food. No more of this leftover crap.
All right. I haven't really discussed this before, but I'm going to, just so you guys know where I'm coming from. Back in 2015, I had a very intense period in my life where I had a severe medical condition where the doctors gave me basically a 5% chance of surviving and living a normal life. I've had like 4 surgeries in 3 days, and it was touch and go many times. They had to bring me back on, I think it was the 3rd surgery. I flatlined, and all the other doctors that I spoke with said that I shouldn't be here. Luckily for me, I had one doctor who wouldn't give up on me, and that's Dr. Say. And he basically saved my life. He went above and beyond what normal doctors would have done to try to keep me alive, and I appreciate that, because otherwise I wouldn't be here today. The doctors just said, just live your life, you know, you don't know how much time, you know. So I've been basically living on a free roll. The chances of me having some issue similar to what I had was very high. In fact, I set the line of my life expectancy at that period of 2 years as a optimistic number. And basically everybody was taking the unders on that. And I mean, everybody was taking the unders. The main goal was trying to make sure my family would be okay without me. So we had, you know, work on getting things all put in order. And it's kind of strange thinking about your own demise like that. And it was sobering. And I began to really enjoy every moment I had with the people I loved. So poker was just something I did for the money, but it wasn't really a main focus of mine. When I first made it through the year of 2015, I was pleasantly surprised. I was still alive and kicking. Each and every year after that, I got a little better and better, but I still never regained the passion I had for the game until I started vlogging. And when I started vlogging and I started talking and chatting with other players and viewers, it really lit a fire under me to become a better player. And I worked really hard at it. I thank you all for your support over this last year. And It's you that has brought me out of my poker coma, you might say. Thanks for sitting through this entire story. I know it's long and drawn out and not very poker related, but it gives you a good glimpse of me and my motivation and why poker wasn't a main motivation for me for a long time. And now it's starting to be. I'm really enjoying being a vlogger and talking with people and listening to their bad beat stories. Not really. I really don't like the bad beat stories. Anyway, thanks for watching. And here we go. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Here it comes. There's a $6 straddle. One player limps from under the gun. I look down at Jack 10. It's not a very strong hand, but I like to attack limper, so I raise to 21. Only the big blind defends for the 21. We get to see a flop heads up of $55 of ace 9-5. Not particularly good for our hand, but excellent for our range. If he doesn't have an ace here, I expect him to fold, and he puts in the quick fold, and we take down this small pot. I'm under the gun with King Jack suited, put in a raise to 15. Everybody folds except for the cutoff who puts in the call. He's a competent player that I've battled with many times over the last year or two. Flop ends up coming out pretty darn good for our specific hand, but really bad for our range. It comes 7-9-6 with a 9-6 of spades. So we flop the flush draw, we have 2 overcards, and we have some backdoor straight draws. I decide to check it because it doesn't really look like it hit my range, and he decides to bet pot of $35. I was really hoping he would bet smaller, but he's knowing that this doesn't hit my range, and he could be trying to steal it. So I put in the call, and we get to see a turn card of a 8 of spades. So yeah, we made our flush. Bad news is it still doesn't really hit our range, and I think he's going to fire again if I check, so that's what I do. And he thinks for a moment before betting out $75. Now I'm trying to figure out how to get the rest of the money in. If I flat here, I don't think he's going to be firing on the river, because unless he's just on a stone bluff, but it's going to look, my call is going to look awfully strong. So I decided just to go ahead and put it in here. He has about $160 behind. If he has a hand like a straight or 2 pair or a set, I think he would probably call off. And if he happens to have a flush, I know he would call off. Anyway, he thinks about it for just a little bit before releasing his hand. I'm not really sure how I could have got more value from this by checking it on the flop. I know I could have probably got more money in if I led. Tell me what you think. We've been doing a lot of raising and stealing blinds, and here we are on the button, and we wake up with a real hand. Bunch of limpers, we put in the raise. Only one of the limpers puts in the call, so we're going to go heads up to a flop with $53 in the pot. Flop comes out 8-5 deuce with 2 hearts. We do have the queen of hearts. The opponent checks to us. We're going to fire at this just to deny equity to overcards like queen jack, king jack, jack 10. You know the type of hands. He quickly puts in the fold as he shows king queen of spades. We wake up with another real hand, ace king offsuit, open for a raise to 15. End up getting a call from the low jack, the button, and from one of the blinds. So we're going to end up going 4 ways to a flop with $63 in the pot. Player in the low jack has a pretty good sized stack, been fairly conservative so far. Flop comes out 10-3-7, all spades. I know I don't have the ace of spades, and so I'm just shutting down here. I check it over. The low jack makes a bet of $35. Yeah, there's really nothing we can do here. I think it's too optimistic to chase with just ace high. Here's another pot where there's a bunch of limpers. I look down at 2 queens on the button. Definitely going to put in a raise, so I make it 20. Player in a small blind puts in the call, and so does one of the limpers. So we're going to go 3 ways to a flop with $72 in the pot. Flop comes down 9-5-3. Great flop for our hand, and the small blind leads out for $20. It's really hard to hit 2 pair on this type of flop, so I'm putting them on a 1 pair type of hand, like a 9. Of course, I make the call, and we get to see a turn card of a 5 of clubs. This also takes away the chance that he has something like pocket 3s or pocket 5s. Well, now there's only really pocket 3s left. So he bets again, 25. I think he's just trying to get a little value out of his 9. And so I'm going to give him a lot of value for his 9. I'm going to put him all in for his $119 that he had before this bet. This really puts a pair of 9s in a rough spot. There's a good chance I have him beat. But, you know, he's getting a really good price for it. He has to put in 90 something dollars to make the call, and there's a 256 in the pot. So he only has to win like 25% of the time to really get his money back. He turns over ace 9, and we dodge an ace and a 9 on the river with a big deuce, and we take this one down. Our aggressive play pre-flop has gotten us lots of action post-flop. I've been extremely active attacking the blinds and the limpers, and then occasionally I'll wake up with a real hand like this one, an ace-queen from middle position. I open for 20. Only the player in the cutoff puts in the call. The other people fold out, the blind and the limper. And we're going to go heads up to a flop with 47 in. He has a very short stack, and the flop comes queen, queen, 6. Nothing I can do here but check it, and he puts himself all in with a jam. I'm happy to be calling, so I put it in the call. We get to see a run out of a jack and a queen, so I show my quads, so he didn't have to show his hand, but he decided to show it anyway for the vlog of king 10 of spades. I wasn't feeling too well, so I decided to make it an early day. Ended up cashing out $340 winner, which is not bad for the hands I had. I did get a lot of pots, small pots, from just stealing blinds. I must have probably stole, I don't know, 10 to 15 blinds or limps during the session. So all those little ones add up. Anyway, thanks for watching. Just a reminder, we are having a meetup game, Andrew and I, at Lucky Chances Casino on November the 10th. If you guys can make it out, that would be great. We're going to be giving away a lot of free stuff, and it'll be fun to meet everyone and talk a little poker. I also like to give a shout out to Chip Lab. That's the company that produced the Zeus poker chips that I hand out. They are a very fine quality product. There was an issue with one of the orders, and I had to have it redone. And I called customer service, and Eric at customer service took care of everything for me. They did a very good professional job, and they handled it very well. Quick response, quick turnaround. I'm not getting paid to endorse them or anything like that. I'm just letting you know that here's a company that stands behind their work, and they create a great product. So if you're interested in getting a customized poker chip, I highly recommend them.